I love covering animation on Unleash the Ghouls whenever I get the opportunity, especially when it freaks me out. Today's edition of Nightmare Fuel is definitely not an exception to this statement. There will be spoilers ahead. The Wolf House, or to give it its original Spanish title La Casa Lobo, is a Chilean stop-frame animated film inspired by the story of Colonia Dignidad, a colony of German immigrants that fled to Chile in the wake of the Second World War. This colony notoriously became torturous and murderous under the rule of General Pinochet's militaristic dictatorship over Chile at the time. So not only does The Wolf House possess some seriously dark undertones based on horrendous real-life events, but the animation here is quite possibly one of the most frighteningly off-putting series of techniques I've witnessed on the channel. I cannot even begin to imagine the level of effort that must have gone into this film, but somehow this thing exists, is over an hour long, and combines stop-frame animation, the moving camera, and is filmed like a one-shot. This is like a completed bingo card of the most impressively difficult filmmaking techniques thrown into a really disturbing blender, only for it to come out as a perfect dark fairy tale. The nightmare fuel here is surely obvious from what you're looking at. The entire film is a combination of paints, paper mache, card, plastic, and other various arts and crafts props that are meticulously pieced together frame by frame to create a physical dreamlike world of constant evolution and devolution. People form from thin air, an increasing amalgamation of these arts and crafts techniques to form our characters and tell its story. Its story is very fairy tale like, and in all honesty, it'd probably take me a couple rewatches to even begin trying to piece together the deeper meaning at play here. Clearly it links to the jagged relationship between the German colonists and the Chilean people, but my brain was so fascinated by the animation, it's all I could think about. Impressive as it is, it's also terrifying, because human beings and animals form and then regress into other objects or just raw materials again. You get several points where you're looking at something intended to be lifelike, but it winds up as distressingly otherworldly. This film definitely taps into the uncanny valley for me, a hypothesis wherein objects that appear human-like, though aren't human, can provide strangely familiar feelings of uneasiness. The Wolf House absolutely makes me feel uneasy, and at points, the things the characters shift into really do make me feel odd inside, such as when they turn into trees and their arms and fingers become branches. It's just wild. At many points, people grow with empty eye sockets, again, just looking purely demonic, and when the more horror genre elements come into play with the imagery, such as the house turning black and this black energy bursting from eyes and mouths, it really doesn't sit right. If I were to roughly talk plot, you've got a girl called Maria, a German colonist girl, so it seems, who is said to have let out 3 pigs by accident and is threatened with punishment. Scared, she runs into the woods to find shelter while a wolf hunts her down. This is where she ends up at the house, and later 2 Chilean children form, Anna and Pedro, who despite getting along well, decide they want to eat Maria. She's ultimately saved by the German wolf that's been hunting her, who I believe is a man rather than a wolf, instead being imagined as a wolf by Maria, as we see a human eye form on a wall at one point looking around to try and find her while saying her name in a sinister tone. It's well fucked. So anyway, that's about what I can gather from the story, and the dialogue here is rather artsy and clearly has deeper meanings within it, but I can't stress enough how lost my brain got in this environment. Every single frame contains another object or a lick of paint or something shifting into something else or the camera slightly moving. It really is a remarkable achievement by Cristobal Leon and Joaquin Cosina, who unbelievably were the 2 people responsible for the direction, cinematography, animation and camera work, as well as co-writing the script alongside Alejandro Moffat. Give those guys a raise, man, and fund whatever it is they work on next. This thing took 5 years to make, and considering it's done in the one-shot style, for the constant setting up of equipment, lighting, painstaking time and artistic creativity to put this array of nightmare fuel to film, and with how such a small team of people were behind it, The Wolf House is without question one of the single most impressive impressive productions I've seen. I cannot fathom it. Leon and Ksenia did write a book documenting the filmmaking process, which I defo need to grab at some point, but what I do know is that a good bulk of this film's visuals and directions of where the animation led to next were improvised, and that Leon and Ksenia had 10 rules that they applied to the film when making it. This is painting on camera, there are no dolls, everything can be transformed as a sculpture, it never goes to black, i.e. there is no black frame, the film is a one-shot sequence, the movie tries to be normal, the colour is symbolic, the camera is never in the same position in 2 consecutive frames, Maria is beautiful, and finally, it is a workshop, not a set. That's such a fascinating list of work ethics to build a film around, and as such, The Wolf House blows my mind, but as a nightmare fuel topic, you're goddamn right it is, and it's all down to the aesthetics. It's a collage of creations that are straight out of a bad acid trip or a sleep paralysis dream, and if there's any more cinema similar to this, please let me know, because the dark side of my psyche needs to feast more. What do you think of The Wolf House? Let me know in the comments below, as well as any other similar productions you think we should cover on the channel. If you enjoyed this one, a cheeky sub would be much appreciated to help keep us evolving just like Maria. I'm Connor from Unleash the Ghouls, thank you for spending time with me in the Wolf House, and we'll see you next time for another edition of Nightmare Fuel.